Alrighty, y'all. Let me come here. Let me come here. So I'm more in the center, y'all. But I wanted to talk about something that I made a community post about, and I would like you guys' opinion either on this YouTube video or on the actual post. It would be better if you guys actually interacted with the actual post because maybe it could get around. I'm not trying to start some type of movement or anything like that, but I am gonna talk about it because I do think this is a bit silly, right? Like obviously I don't got what we're talking about, and I'm gonna get into it. So I had made a post about the Nikke rerun incident, right? Because there is a problem right now. A certain two characters specifically that were supposed to quote unquote work. At the end of the day, this is the third time we're having a Christmas event, right? And I say all the time, by the third time something happens, then we're gonna automatically know how they're gonna move forward, right? So I made a whole post about it. I'm gonna break it down for you guys and all that stuff, but it is about the rerun situation. So if you are not aware, right now, two characters that were supposed to rerun have not rerun, right? And I'm gonna read it for you guys. So I said, the Nikke rerun incident. Let's talk about it. With the recent Maiden Ice Rose banner and the rerun banners of Winter Miller and Winter Mika, the community realized that two older winter units were nowhere to be found, right? And obviously those units were Xmas Rupee and Xmas Yan, right? The thing is, both of these units reran last year with the release of the Xmas Ludmilla and Xmas Mika. Now, the thing is, they did rerun last year, but they came out the year before. So they didn't rerun this year, and that's kind of like where the issue lies, right? And I'm just gonna read it all rather than like breaking it down. I'm just gonna read it all, right? So anything, I ended up saying anything is possible, but since both units came out 2 years ago, right now it's safe to say that the reruns will only happen one time and then never again. Meaning when the 2025 summer event comes around, Summer Anise, Helm, Mary, and Neon will not rerun, but Summer Sakura and Summer Rosanna will rerun with the two other summer units. Any old or new players that do not have these old units will not be able to get them in the future. And again, unless the players complain, I don't see them fixing this, because how would it look if they didn't rerun Rupee and Ann this year, but reran them again next year? It wouldn't make sense, honestly. I think Nikke can easily fix this issue by easily making it that all new and previous limited Nikkes are available in the mileage shop at the very least. In reality, I think it would be best if they just all reran on their own on the new limited banner of that year, or if they had their own banners. But if that's too much for them, then the mileage suggestion is an easy fix. How do you feel about this? And I agree with this. Like, this is obviously my opinion, but I think that's true. I think if they are going to have limited characters, they shouldn't make it that limited characters come once a year, and then when they do come once a year, it's only the other year following the year they came out. So if they came out in 2024, it shouldn't be that they just come out in 2025 and then in 2026 you cannot get them again, right? It's already bad enough that for a lot of these good characters, we have to wait a whole year before we're even able to get them again, right? And like I said, this hurts new players because Summer Anise is a very, very powerful character, right? Summer Anise is a very powerful character. Now, I don't know if they didn't rerun Rupee and Ann because people don't use them regardless, or if because they're bad or whatever, but it's just not fair. Right? It's not fair for them to not rerun Xmas Rupee and Xmas Ann. And again, it just doesn't make sense from any time in the future they rerun. Unless we complain about it, it makes no sense that these characters come back next year and the year and the year and the year after if they didn't come back this Christmas event, right? I just think it's weird because they're making a lot of these limits very powerful, right? Just off the top of my head, if we're going off of limited characters, Summer Anise is very good. This is Ludmilla's, the Winter Ludmilla that's currently out and has the banner right now. She's not going to come next year because next year they're going to rerun the Maiden and Guillotine, and then again, the other new Christmas characters, right? So this Ludmilla is a very good character. Maiden is a very good character. Guillotine is probably going to be a very good character. Summer Anise is a very good limited character. We're not even going to talk about the collab characters that are good because you just never had a chance in the first place, right? Mary is a decent healer. Mika is somewhat of a decent character, I would say. She just takes too long to work, right? Who else is a limited character? Sakura is a good limited character. Rosanna's a good limited character. Like they're making so much of these new limited characters so good, right? And the fact that we already have to wait a whole year before we can get them again, and then if you don't have them or don't get them that year is over, it's like kind of silly in my opinion, right? I do think the best way to go about it is simply just by making it that you can get any of the the featured limited characters in the mileage shop, right? There's a lot of games where whether it's Christmas or summer or whatever, they just put limited characters on one banner as a limited banner, and then you're able to get like just the limited characters. There's a lot of games that do that. Clearly Nikke is not one of them. So if you are going to make it like how they make it, then I think they should fix it genuinely, right? We probably are getting more of here, right? So let's take a look at what some people had to say. The devs are free to do as they wish. It's their game. However, it's pretty uncool to make Anne and Rupee unaccessible. The player base is a lot bigger than it was 2 years ago, even 1 year ago. Locking away these characters is also locking out content, advised mon, etc. I mean, that's true, right? It is their game at the end of the day. They can do whatever the heck they want to do. It's true. They can if they want to, but it's like you're literally, it's limited. The way they go about limiteds and reruns is already so sad because we have to wait a whole year, and that's fine, right? Again, some games do it, some games don't, but like it's just so silly. If you're gonna make us wait 365 days to have the chance of getting a character again, you might as well put them in the mileage shop. That's what I feel like. And then someone said, I mean, I already have prepared myself for this possibility. Seeing that collabs also already don't rerun. I'll forever be haunted for missing the near collab. Now, collabs not rerunning is different, right? Collabs not rerunning makes a lot of sense. In order for a collab to rerun, they would have to, one, re-get the IP, which isn't a problem, but then they would have to make new characters from that IP. Right? There's no way they're just gonna rerun the near collab and then we're just going through the same event without new characters, right? Like the whole point is that they have to make money. And usually with a lot of these games, like the only games that I can think of that do part 2 reruns off the top of my head is Grand Cross and not 7 Deadly Sins, Epic 7 and Grand Cross. And both these two games are like, even when they have collabs, like a lot, maybe not Epic 7, I'm not sure, but I know for a fact Grand Cross, when they have collabs, everybody's always everybody's always unhappy regardless, right? Because it's like, okay, they just reran this collab, everybody always wants a new collab, and like we want new collabs, not reruns, right? And so I get that, I guess, on their part, on Nikke's part. It's kind of weird since in summer they reran all the past banners, but not for Christmas, I guess. But you got to remember last year when they reran, or this year actually, when they reran all 4 characters, this was their first time rerunning. Rupee and Anne, if they were to rerun this year, it would have been their second time rerunning. Because again, Nikke came out November 4th. The Christmas event happened in 2023 with Anne and Rupee. 2024 was Lamilla and Mika. 2023 was Lamilla and Mika. 2024 was Maiden and Guillotine. So this would have guaranteed been their 3rd time rerunning, right? I'm a new player. I started during the last few weeks of the summer Rosanna and also summer Anise. To be honest, I have mixed thoughts about this. On one hand, I don't really mind that they didn't rerun Anne and Rupee, right? Continuation replies because Twitter is limited. Okay. I don't really mind that they didn't rerun Anne and Rupee because according to sources, they're not good units to use, right? But on the other hand, I get that some people want to get these ults for collection purposes. I do too. I'm still trying to get, but okay, I get that as well, but it's not necessarily about like, oh, if they're good or bad, right? Like, I don't think they should only rerun the limited characters that are good, right? I don't think that's the point. I think the whole point is like because what they're doing here, because they've done this with Rupee and Anne, they have to do it with every other character. Like, you guys can sit here and say, oh, it's their game, they can do whatever they want. But if they rerun other summer characters, the next summer event, that would be their second rerun, but they didn't do it for these specific characters, people, maybe they won't complain this time around because like, who's gonna complain about Anne and Rupee, right? Because they're not good, right? But it's like, in reality, it's just not fair. And I'm sure Nikke is aware of that, right? Some desired units from the standard pool, so I understand the community's confusion / problem with them. Or you know what they could have done, to be honest? I think they could have just put like these characters, if they're 2 years old and that's too old for Nikke, put them in the regular pool at this point, right? Especially if we're gonna go off of, oh, they're garbage anyways, you might as well slap them in the regular pool if that's the case, right? And if it's true, and we didn't even get a favorite item, and that's a completely different video. If it is true that Shift Up is only going to do reruns, rerun these characters once, then I have an issue. Not just for my sake, but for everyone's sake. Overall, I'd say that we should get Christmas and Rupee rerun just so everyone who's playing the game right now and next year can cop them. I think they should rerun Christmas characters every time, right? Until it gets to a point where there's enough Christmas characters that they can only have Christmas banners. I feel like that's exactly what they should do, right? I don't understand why we have to like not have a rerun, but yeah, this is definitely quite the issue. Most of the limited Nikkes aren't too good, but Summer Anise, Summer Rosanna, Christmas Lamilla are very good. And the fact new players just can never get them because can just never get one of the better electrical DPS as a fan favorite Nikke. What? As a fan favorite Nikke in a swimsuit? I'm assuming he continues. They would be in the same position as collabs at that point. They would, but the only thing is they get one rerun rather than 0. Like collabs are just never getting a rerun, because I'm sure Nikke understands that the community would rather have new collabs over reruns. Like, I'm sorry, I know you guys, a lot of you guys who missed out on Nier, a lot of you guys want some of these Nier characters, but I would rather have a new collab with a new IP than a rerun of a collab. And I think that's just how it goes for everyone. It's more hype, right? To rerun the Nier collab, it's not going to be as hype for the people who already got the Nier characters the first time around. It's only going to be hype for the people who missed out on it, right? But a new collab is going to be hype for everybody because nobody has the new characters. Like, that's just the truth. They should just add to the mileage pool or standard pool. Christmas Rupee and Summer Neon are just laughable, horrible. They're just not worth pulling on their own banner unless you are a collector or really just like the character. Yeah, I get that. Anne is good though. People are making it seem like Anne is garbage. She's good in PvP. Anne is really good in PvP. So it's like, I don't understand why people make it seem like Anne is a garbage character. Rupee, sure, she's trash. But then again, that's the whole point of favorite items, right? It's like, what? Are limited characters never going to get a favorite item? Because the only possible way I can see them rerunning Anne or Rupee is if one of those two get a favorite item. And the only way they would get a favorite item is if Christmas happens. So yeah, it's possible for one of them to get a rerun next year if they get a favorite item. But then again, they wouldn't even be getting a rerun. You would just be able to get them from the mileage shop, which I guess in theory, that's exactly what we're looking for, right? I think they should go into the Summonal pool, but at the rate of pilgrims or something, only whenever season is occurring. Sure, I think so too. Because also when Anne and Rupee came out, they didn't do it how they do reruns now. They didn't put them on, like, they didn't give them their old banners. What they did was they put Anne and Rupee as a... Okay, so how it was is Ludmilla, for example, and Mika, both of them were 2% on their own individual banners, and then Anne and Rupee would be 50% to a total of 1%. So essentially 3% of the rate up for an SSR, or the 3% for an SSR would be Christmas characters, and the other 1% would be everybody else in the game. That's essentially how that was, right? But I think I kind of covered this clear. You guys let me know if you guys agree or not. I honestly don't think that it really matters if the characters are good or bad. What they're doing to Anne and Rupee, they are going to have to do that to every other character, because that would just be silly. To not rerun characters because they're not good, but then to rerun characters because they're good, it's scummy practices, to be honest. That means you're literally only rerunning these characters because you know you're going to make money off of it. That's literally how that works. I'm sorry, but that is. If they rerun Anise, if they rerun Ludmilla, and it's their second rerun, and they know they're good, and they know they will make money off of it for all the newer players, then yeah, that is scummy, because why are you not rerunning the older characters, right? And Anne is pretty good in PvP, like I said, so I don't think the issue here is the fact that they're garbage, because Anne is very good in one of the contents that actually gives you gems. So yeah, I just think it's scummy. I do. You guys, if you guys have better suggestions than me, I don't know if you guys will. I think honestly the best way to go about it is that just put all of them in the mileage shop. All of them 200 golden tickets. Nobody has that much golden tickets. Like, nobody has that many golden tickets. Maybe the whales, but like, come on. Come on. It just doesn't make sense to me to rerun a character one time and then never again, because it's like, it makes no sense. But if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. Your boy's always going to miss out on Anne, and it's fine. I don't use Anne. It doesn't matter to me if I have Anne or not. For me personally, she was going to be collection purposes, but for a lot of other people, she was going to be on PvP. Like, I've seen people in my comments say, oh my god, I need Anne for PvP, right? You don't need her, but people want her for PvP because she's actually good. So You guys let me know what you think. It's your boy Zxous. You guys, again, I'm gonna leave the link to this in the comments. So if you guys want to go ahead and share your opinion there, you guys can do that. If you don't want to, then just like the video or whatever you want to do. But it's your boy Zxous, I'm out. Peace.